Ball.
The culture.
I mean, we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
To win games, you have to win the game.
Finish the fucking game, bro. Just end it.
Shit, that's what it's cool. All break down on the work. Name it on.
As we end the year, it's time to not only reflect, but look forward to 2026. College football and NFL playoffs knocking on the door come January. Most importantly, there's a certain event that'll be taking place throughout the states over the summer. The World Cup. The first time in over 30 years that it'll be in America. And I'm tempted to go to at least one game. I know where I'm looking for tickets. SeatGeek, the sponsor of this video. Right now on their app, you can find World Cup tickets from across the resale markets. And with the SeatGeek app, I can scour for the best deals now or anytime before the event occurs. It sorts all tickets from red to green on a 1 to 10 scale. Simply put, the greener the score, the better the deal. It gives me a sneak peek from where I'll be sitting. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And as you always know, don't forget to use the code TREE in the link below to save $20 off your first purchase. The World Cup doesn't come around to a country often. And even if I have to travel a bit to get there, I know SeatGeek will put the opportunity to go to a game in the palm of my hand. But enough waxing poetic, now on to the video. I think it would be wise to delete the NFC South from existence and divvy up the remains to the rest of football. This division exists for the comedy of onlookers and the perpetual failings of those that inhabit it. Tampa Bay hasn't really been good, per se. They merely look like a quality team because everyone else in their division's been so insanely shit that it rivals a manure field. It's no longer the case. The Bucs are currently pow-driving themselves face first into that shit and slowly drowning in the refuse. Against a dying team in the Falcons, there wasn't the standard fare, no, that's far too predictable. Instead, it'll be the Creamsicles paying tribute to their Lehman Bennett days. Buccaneer Beach open for all opposition business. Now you'd think with Atlanta beating themselves at every damn turn with a coach who keeps saying they'll find a way to do nothing, this would be an easy win for the Bucs. Atlanta had 19 fucking penalties on the game. 19! And those were the ones that were accepted! Self-immolation rivaling a religious zealot with a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. Yet this Tampa Bay team is no longer being carried by elite talent in a shit division. Kirko somehow lives rent-free against these boys and will dissect them with haste. Todd Bowles is supposed to be this defensive wizard, yet his defenses are repeatedly getting gashed during this implosion. Shit, can Kyle Pitts play this unit every week? He's living up to his potential for once. Somewhere Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp are having conniptions. This once proud defense is getting wrecked. And Baker's no longer in MVP form. Even with Mike Evans back, he's lost a step or three, giving up 2 consecutive touchdowns, but thankfully Atlanta's absolutely idiotic and tried to go for 2 both times. So the Bucs are hanging on a 2-point ledge. Oh, we know this is getting blown. The salvo's already been fired. 2 straight passes by Tampa that fall for incompletion, saving valuable time for Atlanta, yet even then, that's not enough. So many chances to end this damn game, yet the Falcons find a way to survive. Surely the Buccaneers aren't gonna piss away this 3rd and 28 with Atlanta dead to rights. They did. You lost to this? Really? To fucking this trash? You just handed Carolina the division. What should have been fucking gimmies these past 2 weeks squandered and now jobs lie in the balance. Mike Evans and the offense are rightfully furious. Todd Bowles is throwing players under a goddamn train in pressers. The inevitable is coming. And it's more than lol cow of the week. This flameout's gonna become a supernova. Seriously though, how do you get coached into a blender by Raheem fucking Morris? Philly's so desperate for a win that they had to call in a favor from an old ally. Kenny Pickett's starting today for a dead franchise coming to town, but that's pretty much an offensive name only. You know, I was praying that the Eagles would lose this one for reasons of comedy, but the gods hate humor. This game was over from the opening kickoff. Do you need a get-right game in the worst possible way? Call the corporate Raiders. They'll gladly allow you to play their glorified practice squad unit and kick ass all day long. Surely Las Vegas will manage more than 75 yards of offense, 1.8 yards per play, and not be entirely predictable in the run game. Shit, does Kevin Patullo call plays for them too? I tend to overthink things sometimes. The Raiders are shit and the Eagles aren't bad enough to choke a game to them, so Philly wins easily. All that was sacrificed for it was the positivity rabbit in the locker room, gutted for a quick dinner. Fun times. Enjoy your free win and continuing doubts despite it. They play the commies twice, so the division should be theirs. It fucking better be anyway. More freezing cold football, this time near Lake Michigan and a relentless Bear squad looking to regain control of the NFC North. Cleveland isn't gonna give them too much trouble. They have a strong defense, but doesn't mean shit if they can't move the damn football for most of the game. Shedeur Sanders unfortunately has to face a defense with the most takeaways in football. He threw 3 picks, but I'd say one of them had a lot more to do with Judge Judy's butterfingers than him. It doesn't take much of a genius to realize that the Bears put shit in neutral after a while and simply let nature take its course. Kevin Stefanski honestly seems a hell of a lot more interested in tanking and getting himself fired than winning. Or that could be just because the Browns had no running game whatsoever today. He never felt like a threat whatsoever. Chicago most certainly wins a special prize. They got the North back. It may only be for another week, but it's something they'll cherish for a while. Now say thank you to the Broncos and Rams for this bounty. There are 3 words that should strike fear into any man with a pulse. Duval's finding 4. This week may be against the Jets and third-string rookie Brady Cook, but playing with fire is something that all franchises desire. It's a white-hot Trevor Lawrence playing some of the best ball of his career against a defense that hasn't recorded an interception all season. The results are surprisingly predictable for Aaron Glenn's units. T-Law slung for 5 touchdowns and over 10 yards per attempt. And a rushing TD for good measure. When you're up against that and your strong defense is against, once again, a third-string rookie, another rout's the only thing lining up. The AFC South remains in their grasp, but a true test remains in their quest. Denver. They're next on the docket. And if they aren't careful, the Texans can casually slip in there and snag the division. Although if Trevor keeps playing like this, shit, the world's their oyster. Giants need to know the assignment. Lose. And lose convincingly. They currently hold the first overall pick in the draft. And the team's gonna get desperate and trade a haul to cross the Mendoza line. Both these teams on unbelievably long losing streaks and devastated by injury. This is the kind of matchup that Tank Bowl's all about. Perpetual failure to execute even the most basic of assignments and the mindless fun of players competing for NFL jobs next year. Most of the contest, the commies have firm control of the situation. G-men are far too undermanned, and Terry McLaurin just scurried off for a 51-yard touchdown to take a 15-point lead. This is looking like an easy loss for a team eager to build for the future. Wait a minute. No. Giants. Wait! Stop! You're supposed to lose for glorious draft capital, not watch as the Commanders repeatedly implode into being a bad football team. Good Lord, they have a chance to tie the game late. We need a miracle.
We need to get to the Washington 30 for a first down. Dart throws, it's incomplete.
Thankfully, Jackson Dart's unable to will the Giants to any sense of momentum against Washington's where their D in their tank is maintained. The commies' long losing streak has finally come to an end, but at the cost of draft position. Super Tank Bowl will be taking place in 2 weeks. Giants versus Raiders. That match is gonna feed so many families that it'll single-handedly solve world hunger. This is the shit we crave. Failure versus failure. And one team must come up short by winning. An amazing sight. The NFL really tried to pretend that Cincy had a chance in hell of making the playoffs. Yes, a lateral switch at quarterback for a guy having an existential crisis playing for this terrible franchise was gonna solve everything. Like the cheap-ass organization that owns them, the Bengals didn't remove snow from any seats before the game. Or give any semblance of a shit against the Baltimore team reeling from their own misery. Shit, why couldn't Cincy play like this in their Thursday night shit show that happened a few weeks ago? I don't know if it was the cold or outright giving the bird to the hack of a head coach they have, but the Bengals all but quiet quit on the field. They allowed Joe Burrow to rot for 60 consecutive minutes. They refused to do anything to stop the Ravens' run game. Lamar barely had to do anything, and he looked half passable in his injured state. And what you get in the end is death. The death of a long-doomed season. The death of a fake window. The potential death of another franchise QB in Cincy. Trade rumors swirling like a Ravens pick six near Baltimore's goddamn goal line. Do you see this touchdown by Alohi Gilman, Bungles? It's a dagger. Now kindly put it in your heart for me. Treat it like you've done Burrow and stab your will to live away. Don't worry, Bengals fans. Joe Burrow's injury is why they failed. It's not because of a generationally bad defense or Jake Browning being ass or clowns at head coach or the owner's box. It's because Burrow wasn't healthy. Can we just contract this franchise and call it a day? Another matchup that even a toddler could predict. A garbage franchise that's been DOA since the Titans collapse against one of the hottest teams in the league featuring an incredible defense. I wonder who won this one in a complete rout. I'm gonna guess it was the franchise riding incredible momentum that no one wants to face in January right now. Oh, really? I can't believe that Houston won a game they were supposed to win decisively. What a novel concept. That defense is incredible, yes. But if that offense can ever get their collective heads out of their ass for any consistent period of time, you're looking at a Super Bowl contender. In terms of reaching that upside, the Cardinals are more than content with falling to the sword. Arizona got their fantasy points and Trey McBride won more than a few teams their playoff matches. That's all they want before they purge everything in the offseason again. CJ Stroud continues to build confidence and Jawar Jordan had a breakout day. Anything else is gravy. They're firmly in playoff position now. They'll more than take that after the start they had. The AFC East was merely borrowed, we all said. Patriots are the stronger, more well-rounded team in the grand scheme of the game, we all said. Shit, early on that may as well have been the case. Home cooking for Drake May and Travion Henderson gashing a highly suspect Bills defense throughout the entirety of the first half. Before you can blink, it's 21-0 New England. Should be long over, you'd think. Buffalo doesn't have anything to overcome the Patriot onslaughts. But in his dying moments, Sean McDermott makes a call to bail him out yet again. Begrudgingly, one man will reliably answer his call. Save my job, Josh, he cries into the night. You know what happens from here. The high-end talent will bail out many men like him again. Josh Allen becomes a fire god, a tale as old as time itself, slinging the rock with efficiency and haste to his many, many targets. Joined by James Cook in crushing apart a so-called juggernaut feasting on a tissue-soft schedule. And timely ref ball Pats fans will kill me if I didn't say anything about it. 5 consecutive touchdown drives to solidify victory and keep themselves alive in the division hunt. New England blows a big game, but they shouldn't really be panicking for their lives. For all of Buffalo skirting through fire and flames, this is still a very suspect football team. They gave up almost 250 yards on the ground. They couldn't stop Travion Henderson. This is a hell of a lot more than not having Bernard and Benford in tow. This is systemic shit that's gonna cost them in January. Josh Allen can't do every goddamn thing. Their day of judgment will come. The only thing that'll remain is Sean McDermott without an answer in the world. Enjoy your win, I guess. Denver's gonna send you a fruit basket in the mail. The White Rabbit holding the watch has been making the rounds on Twitter recently. You know he's really directing it towards the Chiefs, right? I've been over their repeated failings finally catching up to them this season. Endless one-score losses and the pendulum swinging to regress to the mean. Liquid LA's usually a team KC would own in their sleep. That is, until 2025 rolled around. This time, all the Arrowhead chants and 10-point leads in the world can't save them. All that will be is terrible offense infected with predictability and Matt Nagy's disease. Every try feels like agony. In an age past, the Chiefs could rely on elite offense to make a clutch drive or two to save the day and keep the good times flowing. That's gone the way of the dodo. Most plays with Mahomes and company these days is pulling teeth without anesthesia. Painstaking attempt on trying to gain a few yards and not get killed by hungry adversaries. What is a running game? Is that simply Mahomes having to do everything as always? Because it certainly isn't with old-ass Kareem Hunt and a regressed Isaiah Pacheco. Worse, the failings fall on the feet of Mahomes with a terrible pick in the red zone. A withered husk of a former dynamo. It happens to all franchises, but it doesn't tend to happen so hilariously. A game where nothing happens, but there will be a final drive in theory. The old Chiefs would have pulled out bullshit in their sleep. Here they'll go through the motions of a win. They'll bait with old Fields and Patrick Prices and stuff like that. Yet in the end, all they get is worst-case scenario. Mahomes tore his ACL. You're done. I don't give a shit if you found a way to win this. Your season's fucking dead. Gardner Minshew's a meme, but that's all he is. A funny meme. And he certainly isn't saving them here.
And Pacheco remains the back, and Minshew to the air. And deep, and intercepted! It's picked off!
See? Told you. Injury to insult as the Chargers not only rip out their heart, but gorge on it while they remain alive. It's not for long. This evil's been vanquished. For the first time in over a decade, Kansas City won't be going on to January. So this is how dynasties die. Years of terrible drafting and an aging core. Have fun with that cap situation in the offseason with a bunch of holes to fill and an injured QB. It may be time to enjoy that retirement cheeseburger alongside Kelsey, Andy. Out of all the chaos and drunkenness that is this NFL season, one thing may have snuck under the radar for most of you. San Francisco's rattling off win after win with whatever the hell is supposed to resemble a defense. Yet, in spite of every adversity and wrench thrown at them by spiteful football gods, the 49ers continue to secure victories by means of sorcery and sedition. This was a much easier contest since it's against the shitty Titans, but San Francisco has had one of the softer schedules in football. One of the few benefits of completely falling apart to attrition last season. Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy to no one's surprise, and Tennessee simply can't keep up. It's a blowout by the third quarter and a simple win for a not-so-simple team. The Niners have 10 wins, yet not a single soul really gives a shit about them since everyone worth a damn's probably hurt. Or like Brandon Ayuk and simply went AWOL. It's like Rodney Dangerfield, but with more hacked limbs during every stand-up routine. Every time they say they can't get no respect, their spleen ruptures. But the likes of the Titans are to the wayside. The Bears and Seahawks will be their true tests. What is San Francisco? True sorcery or cheap smoke and mirrors tricks? Here's your chance, Panthers. The Buccaneers are too busy slipping on their own shit and falling flat to take advantage of this pathetic division. You may not be all that good, but as long as you're the best in a perennially garbage NFC South, the home playoff game is yours. Just beat the shitty Saints at the Superdome. Something that many good teams can do in their sleep. Even the Panthers can manage that for themselves, right? Right? Oh yeah, Carolina lost to this shitty team, didn't they? Leave it to the Panthers to rattle off an impressive win against the Rams of all groups. Have a bye week to prepare, then lay another massive fucking egg against the goddamn bottom feeder. Jesus Christ, be fucking normal, I beg of you! They had a 10-point lead in the third quarter, yet Carolina can't finish this off? Does anyone want to win this garbage division? Or is it simply for the likes of Tyler Shough to sling against the epitome of volatility to tie the game up? Is it for the Panthers' offense to fall apart at the worst possible times with everything in front of them? Or is it for their defense to lie down and die on the final drive? On the fringes of field goal range only to headhunt a defenseless QB and give Nollins an extra 15 yards. We're truly in hell. All of us forevermore.
Charlie Smith from 47. It's on the way. It is good.
God, fuck you, Carolina. Seriously, fuck you. A golden chance to beat a weak opponent and you lie down to die yet again? This is the NFL in 2025. One of the shitty Panthers or Bucks will be hosting a playoff game. Late-stage football. It's exhausting. Yes, I'll be watching next week. The Lions' gauntlet to try and maintain hope in a dwindling season continues on. Now they have to go to SoFi and face off against a Rams team eager to win another ring. And Detroit's secondary hasn't exactly been reliable or healthy in recent weeks. LA's got Matthew Stafford on a warpath and Puka Nacua eager to terrorize those allegedly guarding him. The end result is another showing of over 500 yards of offense. Crushing all opposition in a gun show and proving themselves as superior. Dan Campbell can gamble everything he wants, but Detroit's trying to keep up in a duel they could never win. Jared Goff's many things, but he's incapable of Herculean efforts without a run game. He can sling to Amon-Ra and J-Mo all he wants, but it will never be enough. The Rams are simply better. A cold reality's been revealed these past few months. The Lion King is no longer a king of his own conference. They are squarely second tier, especially with that defense getting gashed left and right. Merely stuck trying to play catch-up, yet lacking the wherewithal to do it. They can't rattle off consecutive wins, and they can't beat anything close to an elite foe. The odds were all but impossible, but Detroit couldn't get it done either way. Once again sitting on the outside looking in when we all wish they could just replace the AFC North or NFC South this year. I can't believe it's happened, but for the first time this season we've had a team clinch a playoff spot. The Rams are in. I know, unbelievable to imagine in this godforsaken season. What a fucked up year of football. 2025's been drunk as hell, but even this is taking it a step too far. We didn't believe it'd be so, but the crooning has begun. Old Man Rivers. Phillip Rivers starting a must-win game for the Colts 5 years away from football. The man's been gestating that head coach weight away from the NFL, but I have to give him some props. Coming in completely cold, thrust into the fire of a white-hot defense and standing firm in the face of adversity. Rivers' throw power is long gone, but look, you take what you can get here. He really was Indy's best option. It was either this or the Tim Boyle tier of QB. And take Old Man Rivers too. Yet this whole situation is trying to dig water out of the sinking Titanic. You can try and delay it all you want, but the only end's at the bottom of the North Atlantic. Seattle's defense is relentless despite Indy's multi-score lead. Even for Rivers' limitations, the Colts team's putting together one of their best performances of the year, yet it's never enough. Like Indy's stuck in quicksand. The more they squirm, the more field goals Jason Myers will kick to chip away at the deficit. It will continue on until the waning moments of the fourth quarter. 5 field goals for Jason Myers, incredibly damning for the Seahawks offense. But elite's elite. Yet you forget the call that happened many times in San Diego. Old Man River. He doesn't have much left in the tank, but by God, Phelps gonna drive them with what he has. It's fucking magic, man. Rivers getting them far enough for Blake Dadgum Groupie to boot a 60-yard field goal. Kind of feel-good ending that Hollywood would find sappy as hell. Until you remember Phillip Rivers' defenses are infamous for choking away leads he built. Sam Darnold to Rashid Shaheed multiple times. Agony, thy name is Jason Myers. For the 6th time today. That, my friends, is how a season falls into the North Atlantic. By a slow-motion charging in tribute of an old stalwart returning to the saddle. Seattle escapes the funny pages and keeps pace, while the Colts... you already know how this goes. Everyone who knows ball can feel it in their bones. San Francisco awaits next week. And if this shit continues, the collapse will be complete. The Grassy Perna Bowl. A matchup that makes all of YouTube salivate for bragging rights and boisterous banter. Heavyweight against heavyweight in the art of war. And someone's getting a pound of flesh taken out of them. It's not Denver, obviously. They have seemingly impenetrable plot armor stolen from Kansas City in the offseason. Some things just may not be meant to be, Packers. The endless Super Bowl hype back in September. This was looking to be a duel of duels, but the only thing that Green Bay got out of it was pure devastation. It's not even exaggerating, just look how the damn game played out. In alien confines, in the face of a rock-solid defense, Love and Acme Packing were doing more than enough to hold firm. They were looking like the stronger foe. Pack Arena had a 9-point lead in the second half, near complete control of the contest and another statement win in their grasp. Only to fall down and die. Everything fell apart, and I mean everything. Jordan Love unable to will blood out of a stone. A defense that suddenly can't make either a stop or a goddamn tackle. Bo Nix going back to his Oregon days with 4 TDs through the air. Denver merely unleashing hell on earth to incinerate Green Bay in its tracks without a chance to counter. Wait, I should correct myself. The Broncos will give them chances, but nothing's able to be done with them. Denver's defense is just too strong. Green Bay's far too injured in its core pieces. Packers will fall to the delight of the NFC North. Denver pulls out another comeback with Tebow Mania 2.0 and continues their win streak in the face of all challengers. First place in the AFC is solely theirs. Thank your local Bills team for such a bounty. In Green Bay, hey boys, come and take a walk with me over here. No, don't turn around and look at the wreckage. Don't even think about discussing Micah Parsons, you never traded for him. Those sacks and elite production was just a figment of your imagination. Just keep walking and try to ignore what could be your ruined Super Bowl ambitions. Denver stole them from you like a bunch of other suckers. Oh Lord, Perna's gonna be fucking insufferable. It will never cease to make me chuckle that the Cowboys deluded themselves into thinking they could make a run. Part of me was thinking they would too, with the Eagles imploding on themselves. But if you can't take care of a free-falling Vikings squad, you don't deserve anything more than vacations to Cancun in a few weeks. How many times are we gonna say this? Dallas doesn't have a fucking defense. Jerry Boy can pretend that he's a managerial genius by overhauling things for the sake of it, but the Fluscoos will not be stopped from allowing career days all across the field. You can finally stop the run, great. Their linebacking core still over-relying on Kenneth fucking Murray, and what the hell did happen to Trayvon Diggs? Does anyone even know? When your unit's getting picked apart by the likes of fucking 9, you need to rethink your entire organizational philosophy. McCarthy's straight up flexing on them by gritting his way into the goddamn end zone. This is what offenses do when they see Dallas on the docket. But there was an amazing thing that happened. Brendan Aubrey was mortal. How the hell is this guy missing kicks? Was he miscalibrated in an act of sabotage? Is it simply the Aura Bowl record? Them boys are supposed to have this elite offense, yet are 2 for 12 on third down? Has anyone heard from George Pickens these past few weeks, or is he back to not give a shit mode? If Dem Boy season wasn't dead last week, now it certainly is. The Vikings win, but the season's long been over for them too. Dallas will be joining them on the couch soon enough. Everything pieced together meticulously with strengths everywhere, yet they overconfidently thought a meme QB could guide them anywhere. Put JJ McCarthy back in the oven, he's fucking raw as shit! And probably as battered as Minnesota's O-line's been all year. Vikings really are gonna Viking. Narratives must be maintained, my friends. The Steelers on Monday Night Football, the Dolphins in the freezing cold in modern times. It all has to be cherished in this unpredictable year. Miami's a changed group, the national media thought. They barely scrape by the Jets, Saints, and Commies. Surely Pittsburgh will be a good litmus test for them. Fuck no, you kidding me? The first half was complete slop, and then Miami revealed themselves as garbage. I knew Tua had significantly regressed. But this? Good Lord, he was a complete disaster. Shit, it's almost as if McDaniel barely trusts him to do anything since he'll make dumb decisions on the regular. And this is against a defense that lost TJ Watt to being stabbed in the fucking lung in a botched dry needling treatment. Still resulted in negative 20 yards in the third quarter. I didn't even know such ineptitude was possible, yet Miami did it. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, gets 4 straight touchdown drives. That's not your imagination. The Steelers had offense. A sight for sore eyes. DK Metcalf ragdolled Minka in a statement of power, and Jonnu Smith ran for a TD out of the damn backfield. It's a flat-out massacre and realization that the Dolphins fucking suck, as has been repeatedly proven in 2025. Now kindly get the fuck out and stop pretending you're relevant. You seriously paid $53 million a year to a guy who's a complete shell of himself at QB. Worse, you're stuck with Tua turned the ball over with his $99 million dead cap next year. As a wise man said, to win games, you have to win the game. Miami didn't do much of that either. On the record, I was a fan of Tua. For a few years, I felt he was one of the most underrated players in the game with pinpoint accuracy at his peak. That Tua is long gone. He's regressed from quality starter to glorified Dylan Gabriel. And that comparison might be an insult to Gabriel. Terrible decision-making, no mobility, and an arm that's even more of a noodle than people mocked him for. Injuries have destroyed him. Yet Miami threw so many bags at him, it's ruined their franchise. After that Monday night debacle, you can't keep throwing him out there to be a liability. Quinn Ewers is probably better than Hawk Tua right now, which is why Tua turned the ball over has now become Tua to the bench. Welcome to your Kirk Cousins arc, where a guy stuck on a team is a backup because no one wants to take on that terrible contract. Unless Miami treats him like Brock Osweiler and tacks on a first-round pick alongside him. And Matthew Judon got axed too. He didn't do shit here. Good riddance. Get ready for unemployment, Mike McDaniel. You can watch MacGruber on repeat and quote movie lines somewhere else. 3 weeks left and there's still so much to sort out. Plenty of eliminations, but clinchings are few and far between. To be fair, most of everything's already settled, but positioning's gonna be the key. Denver holds #1 seed in the AFC for now, but that could change in a heartbeat. The Steelers hold the AFC North for now, but that'll probably come down to a Week 18 showdown. And the same goes for Jacksonville in the AFC South. However, the 3 wildcards are all but solidified barring a Colts comeback from the dead. Yet in the NFC, the Rams have retained #1 seed after convincingly crushing Detroit. The Bears have reclaimed the North. Green Bay might be in some serious shit after their injuries, but the Lions still have to take care of their own business. Philly still has plenty of questions to answer, but they won the East by all but default. The NFC South we do not discuss. The light does not touch over there. It is only terrible football. I expect plenty more injuries and grinding to continue on in this final stretch. That's the only constant in a year where everybody's pretty much shit. We all know there's only one rule to follow in these times.
Don't get eliminated!
Bring out Jadine!
Unit lost.
Bring out Jadine!
Unit lost. 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 Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. lost. Unit 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 lost.
Thanks very much. Touch off. See you on Thursday. Right.
Simmons is in. He's got a touchdown in his career. He was out there. Cam Ward on the scramble. Throwback Simmons. His second career touchdown.